Good morning, everyone. I'm back again. So last week, if you missed it, I did a masterclass in a smaller group and I had people sign up. And so there was some confusion around it. So I wanted to go back this week and just share a little bit about what we did and just give you some insight to what the class was about and just share some important points that I think are a good takeaway from it. So yesterday we talked a little bit in a live for about 10 minutes. I just talked about our first day of the masterclass, and we talked about kids and time and also family systems. That was the big thing, is really about the family system and why it is important to understand how it works and how it affects your family. So today I wanted to talk about time, and that's what day 2 of the masterclass was last week, was time and why. So kind of the whole masterclass was about the why behind things, why we should be focusing on various parts of our families. So today is on time and why time is important to focus on for kids and families. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started really quick. This is not going to take long, so make sure you stay. So time, why it's important. It creates structure. It creates organization. You can't get it back. It impacts the family system that we talked about yesterday, and it motivates us to move forward. So those 5 reasons are why it's important. I'm going to go a little bit into that. So structure. When you have consistent structure and consistent routines and expectation, you're building a solid foundation that helps kids adapt to the changes. So there's less fear, which is going to cause less anxiety. So when you have less anxiety, you have kids that are better behaved. They're able to hear you when you're talking, and they're able to comply with directives better. So that is one reason why it's important. Another reason is it allows you to concentrate on what needs to get done that day instead of being distracted by things around you. So I think the reason I focus on this too is this is very, very hard for me. I am very easily distracted. I was never diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm pretty sure I have it just after working with so many kids and reading about ADHD, that structure is very hard for me in organization. So I have to make sure that I'm not being distracted or I won't get anything accomplished. And so one of the important things about this is if you're doing that during the day, if you're being organized, your kids are going to see you and you're going to be modeling a great way for them to live as they get older. Another thing is you can't get it back. It's the only thing you can't get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And as you get older, you start to realize how important that is, and that it's important to focus on time with your kids, with your spouse, with your family, because it's such a short commodity. All right, it impacts the family system. It builds confidence within the members, and if you feel, it makes you feel less overwhelmed, and it will impact everyone. So when you feel less overwhelmed, your whole family will realize, so that system, like we talked about yesterday, will function more smoothly, and people will feel confident. The kids will feel confident that you know what you're doing, that things are going to be safe and secure, and they're feeling less stress and anxiety, which just puts us back to number 1, the structure. So it really impacts the family system, and it creates less anxiety in the home. And it helps motivate us. You can be motivated intrinsically through something that makes you feel good, or extrinsically. For example, like if you're trying to lose weight for a wedding or something. So time really helps motivate us because it makes us get things accomplished and get things done, whether that's something intrinsic or something extrinsic. Anyway, that was the big thing and the big takeaway from last week on time. There's also a workbook that goes along with this. It's a PDF. And if you would like to see that, let me know. But I feel like when we know the why behind things, we're more apt to value it more and try to understand how to make it better in our lives. So I hope that's helpful. And if you have any questions, make sure you check in with me. I would love to help in any way I can. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.